Have you ever heard a story so chilling that it stays with you long after it's over? Willow Creek is a small village tucked deep in the countryside, peaceful and unassuming, or so it seems. In the late 1800s, Willow Creek was a bustling town hosting a weekly market where people came to trade goods, exchange news, and enjoy gatherings. But what set Willow Creek apart was its violin prodigy, Clara Vance, a young woman whose mesmerizing music could make even the hardest hearts soften. Many said Clara's talent was a gift from heaven. Her bow danced across the strings, summoning melodies that could touch your soul. Her eyes seemed to hold the stories of ages, and when paired with her violin, it was magic. But as fate often has it, the brightest talents can cast the darkest shadows. You see, Clara's reputation caught the attention of a wealthy patron, Victor Heydrich, who claimed to be smitten by her artistry. He was a man of stature, well-dressed, influential, and rumor had it, very dangerous. Victor, enamored yet possessive, offered Clara a deal she couldn't refuse. He would sponsor her on a journey to the great concert halls of Europe. In exchange, she would have to abandon Willow Creek and her quiet, loving fiancé, James, who worked as the village blacksmith. Filled with ambition but torn by love, Clara hesitated. She couldn't imagine life without James, but Victor made it clear the offer was one of a lifetime assignment, or else. Late one autumn evening, Clara played her last piece at the local market stage, her violin vibrating with an intense crescendo that seemed to mirror the agony in her heart. As the final note faded into the starlit sky, witnesses described a shadowy figure lurking in the crowd. It was Victor. That night, Clara vanished without a trace. Days turned to weeks, but she never showed up at her farewell gathering nor boarded the coach waiting for her. Her violin was found floating in the creek, cracked and water-damaged, but strangely still intact. Here's where the story twists. Shortly after Clara disappeared, the people of Willow Creek began reporting hearing violin music at the oddest hours. The melody was hauntingly familiar. It was the same final piece Clara played the night she disappeared, but the sound didn't come from Clara's home or the market stage. It seemed to waft through the creek itself. Those who ventured near the banks overnight claimed to hear whispers, soft and mournful, as though someone were sobbing. Fast forward 50 years. A daring journalist from the city, Margaret, arrived in Willow Creek to investigate what locals now referred to as the curse of the violinist. Margaret was skeptical but intrigued. She interviewed locals, pored over maps, and searched archives. One foggy night, she decided to camp near the creek, determined to prove the haunting was mere folklore. Armed with her lantern and recorder, Margaret waited under the watchful gaze of the full moon. Exactly at midnight, the sound came. An otherworldly violin melody drifted through the air, growing louder as if the ghostly performer was drawing closer. What followed can only be described as a crescendo of misery. Margaret later described that the music was not just heard, it was felt, plunging into her heart like icy daggers. Suddenly, the silhouette of a woman appeared on the opposite bank, dressed in a tattered blue gown, carrying what seemed like a shimmering violin. The figure floated, not walked. As Margaret approached, the apparition played a final, sorrowful note before vanishing into the mist. The tape Margaret had been recording captured nothing but the sound of the creek. No violin, no footsteps, nothing but the chilling rush of water. Legend has it, Clara's spirit remained bound to the creek, forever lamenting the life stolen from her. Some say Victor took her life out of jealousy. Others claim she ended it herself, her love for James forever torn asunder. What we do know is this. Should you find yourself near Willow Creek on a silent night, tread lightly, for the faint strains of a violin might just carry a curse that can never be undone. And so, that's our tale. A story of love, ambition, betrayal, and a melody that refuses to be silenced. What would you do if you heard Clara's violin? Could you walk away, or would you venture closer? Beware, the choice could be yours one day. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. Spooky Tales Unveiled will be back with more bone-chilling stories that will keep you awake at night. Sweet dreams. If you can fall asleep, that is.